To do on this video, and I just ran out of time on the last video. We were doing a railing and everything. I wanted to show how I would touch up and repair some of these things that, like on this part here, there's a part, well, let me just show it. This is a good way to repair something where you know the part is oil soaked or cracked or whatever, and you just can't seem to get it to be repaired in the traditional way. This is how I would do it. Now, this is something we had, well, let me just show the part here so you get an idea. This part was just hanging on by a thread. It looks like it's still cracked up here too, even though we've repaired it with CA. And I wanted to, let me just flip this over. I did put a substantial amount of carbon fiber and fiberglass behind it, even up here. But as you can see, when I bring this back down, if I go to turn this, it's still, let me get up close, it's still cracked. So there's several things. The CA is capillary, so it goes into the bond. Every modeler knows this, but people that ride motorcycles sometimes don't know it. But if the CA has to bond to something solid. If it can't bond, if that material in there, and this is the lower part of the bike, subject to chain lube and oil changes and dead bugs and raccoons and things. So this part is really, no matter how many times we glue this, at some point it's going to crack. And I want to fix this before I put the clear on. So this is a good demo of how I would do it. Okay, the next step on this, you just trim off the overage. And it really doesn't even matter if you trim it off, because as soon as you go to sand it, it'll cut that right off. Now this is going to get buried in paint. If this were a part of the, let's say it was the top of the fairing where you would see it, you're never going to see this. The only reason I'm doing this is for me. Unless somebody's crawling around, or I've just run them over and they're looking up at the bottom of my kickstand or something, or some squirrel. But just some 600 paper. I'm just going to lightly sand this off. It sands, because the CA sands beautifully. We'll be able to sand this in. I'm going to have to back mask this part and then just put on 3 or 4 coats of white each time, sanding it just a little bit. But that fiberglass cloth is going to get buried. Just basically get buried in the white paint. And when I cannot see the edges of it anymore, it'll be very easy then to just shoot the clear, or we're going to put the we still haven't done the decals yet, but that's my nuclear option. Okay, what this is, modelers use this to reinforce things. It's fiberglass cloth. It's e-glass for molding or repairs. Use with glass resin. Well, we use it with CA, but that's beside the point. This is available from brodac.com. And a yard of this usually comes in I think this is a yard. This is a really good material. It's 1.5 ounces. It comes 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, and 1.5 ounces. I'd like to use the 1.5 ounces here. So step one is wherever the crack is, I want to just lightly sand it. Some 600 paper, 400, doesn't matter. I want to get rid of all sanding dust. And what I'm going to try to do, and you never know if this is really going to work. Let me get it. Because the part that you're gluing, you're not going to get it. It's oil soaked. So I will try to glue this one more time. Rub the part down. But I know for sure that even if this does look like it's repaired, it's not really repaired, because that material in there is not real solid. And getting a good bond now, again, some 600 paper. I'm going to put a new coat of paint on this, so I don't really even care about the look of the finish right now. Now what I want to do is I want to show something that the modelers will all know about, but the motorcyclists may not. Really 2 cracked areas here. So what I'm going to try to do is make what amounts to be a piece of the cloth to go around this, out over the edge, 1/2 inch. And that should, then I can sand that and bury this 1/2 ounce cloth, by the way. It's 1.5 ounces. It doesn't matter what the very light glass cloth gets buried in there. We can bury that in paint. and just hopefully that'll be a permanent repair. Now, some of this glass cloth has a chemical called Velon that, and it's important to know this just makes it, for our purposes, easier to use. Now, this is not going to be difficult to do, but by laying that over there, again, I don't have to be real fancy about it. This material will bury itself in paint very, very quickly, but it's going to add a layer of strength to this that normally would not. And this is thick C8 that I'm putting on here. And what I'm going to try to do is, just using a paper towel, a Q-tips, whatever the overage is, it doesn't even matter. It'll sand right off once this dries. But this will add, I hope it's going to add enough strength. And I hope we don't, I looked over the parts, well, last night I looked them over a couple of times, in fact. And there's 4 or 5 little things that I want to show how I would touch them up. None of them, most of them are, if you didn't even touch them up, nobody would know. Now this is just going to kick off nice and slow. I just let that sit for about 30 seconds. Now that's sanded out to where you can't, and I don't do it by looks, by feel. But it's going to need 3 or 4 coats of white. I'll sand it between coats. We're going to have to go over that. That's going to be, I'll just add a little extra white there. I don't want to reprime this. And that'll eventually just blend right in. Now, I also have this little spot up here, so it couldn't be any more convenient. What I'll do is I'll back mask off just the white, leave everything back masked, and it'll be very easy then just to reshoot the white. Now what I'll do over the course of the day, I'll give that 2 or 3 more coats of white and lightly sand it in between coats. It'll just bury right off by the end of the day. That'll be a perfect repair. Now the idea, of course, is to let each coat of paint dry and lightly sand it just till you see whatever's coming through. But you can see that's going to be perfect when it's done. The FZR part right under one of the other illustrious heating vents here. I'm going to try to get one more coat on that before I go get my grandson. So there is a point at which I don't want to, once I have this that I can't feel anything going on, that's as good as it's going to get. I'm going to put one more coat on. I just don't want to take any chance with any of this that my white isn't white. And maybe that's a good idea because I see there's just a little spot where it's not exactly as white as the rest of it. It's underneath the bike, the kickstand goes here, but you know what, I'll see it. For sure, the single most important thing with doing this kind of a job when you want to bury something in paint, let each coat dry. In this case, if I have a heating vent, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours would even be better. If you live in some sunny weather, put it where it's 80, 90 degrees here, but we don't have anything. Everything's about 62 here. But anyway, as I do this, to get that last coat on there, what that's going to allow me to do, I hope, I have a couple other little tiny, and I mean they are tiny, little spots that I want to touch up. I can airbrush some of them. Some of them I just need to scrape away a little black on that. But it's an ongoing thing. Even after shooting a coat of clear, I'll be back doing little touch-ups, little spots you sand through. It's endless. It's absolutely endless. But that's the way you get to the end of the job, and people look at it and they can't find a mistake. So that, I think, was just, I hope I was able to convey my thoughts about how I went about fixing that. And we tried some very easy ways. That was the nuclear option. I think it worked pretty good. And we just beat, it's unbelievable that we did this. It's just starting to drizzle out there. I see the sidewalk is a little bit wet. So, once again, we made it and just beat the rain. So one of the things I did in the last couple months, I've been downloading every picture that I could that had any of the Yamahas that have these stripes, or any paint job that I thought I could steal some ideas from. I've got a whole computer file of, I don't know, probably 100 or more pictures, and of things that I like, things that I don't like. So when I get together with John, and we do this on the computer, where we access each other's computer, and he basically does the work and I take the credit. That's the way it works. But I want to come up with some really very unique logo for that, a logo for the side of the fairing. Not sure about the tank, they got choices with that. It's going to be just one of the most fun parts of the job. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and always fun to work with Turbo Steve. And all I can say is it's getting more exciting every day working on this. It really is exciting to me. So thanks for watching. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do, the painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. And thanks everyone for watching.